Hey everyone, welcome back. So today we are going to discuss a very important topic of the discussion is installation and configuration of OpenLDAP. So let me give you a very brief discussion on that. Like till Solaris 11.0, we have to install OpenLDAP package from IPS repository. We already discussed repository and such kind of thing in my Solaris administrator course, where I discuss briefly how to like configure your IPS repository and how these things are working. So for the brief purpose, let me tell you there is something called IPS repository. The way we have apt get repository in Linux, same way IPS repository is a repository from where you can fetch the file or package which you want to download and install in your Solaris machine. So till Solaris 11.0 onward, this IPS repository was in the action. Means what you have to do in order to download and install OpenLDAP, you have to download this from IPS repository. Now what happens, this Oracle people did is from Solaris 11.1 onwards, this OpenLDAP package was a part of the operating system by default. Means there is no installation required from 11.1 onwards, and right now we are using 11.3 and 4, which is the latest version. There is no requirement to install it, which is coming as a part of the package. So if you want to check, go to the terminal. Let me quickly jump to the root. Yes, I am here in the root. So in order to install, let me give you a note. In order to install the Solaris till Solaris 11 onward, what you have to do, you have to means till Solaris 11.0 onwards, what you have to do, you have to install you have to install OpenLDAP from OpenLDAP package, right? OpenLDAP is a package from IPS repo. So you have to install it from IPS repo because it was not a part of your operating system. So in order to install there, you have to run a command which is nothing but pkg install. That's the command to install any package and the name of the package, which is OpenLDAP. But from Solaris 11.1 onwards, it's a part of, or it's a bundle with OS, your Solaris OS. So if you still run this command, not an issue because it will say it's already there. So how to know if the package is there or not in your system? To check the package is there or not, it's very easy. You have to run a command which is called pkg info. You have to run a command pkg info OpenLDAP. So don't worry, I will share this document with you as well. That's why I'm preparing this document to you. So I will share this document with this video as an attachment, so you will use that. So let me quickly come here and check if it is there or not. So pkg info of OpenLDAP. So if I run this command, here you can see I already have this OpenLDAP. So this right now you can see we have a OpenLDAP version 2.4.3.0, which is installed already. Publisher is Solaris and it is an OpenLDAP, right? And the size is 12.32 MB. So what are the points is there? So it's your uh, Solaris is having this OpenLDAP. So Solaris OpenLDAP, right now you are having something called version, right? So the version is nothing but right now we are using is 2.4.3.0 of OpenLDAP. These questions are very important as a part of interview as well, so that's why I'm listing out. And the build version is 5.11. So this 11 represent you have 11 of Solaris 11, right? And also the size is very small size. Okay, in other you already know I have another course on OpenLDAP on Linux. So, or that is Ubuntu machine. So there I discussed, there I have what I did, I have to go to the website or repository. I have to download the OpenLDAP from there and install it. But here in Solaris you don't need that, because here you can see it's already installed, and this is fMRI right? This fMRI, all these things are already discussed in my Solaris admin course, where it's completely discussed on fMRI is a separate topic. So I'm definitely going to skip it here because we are learning OpenLDAP, not Solaris right now. So from here, this package is actually downloaded to your machine. I hope till now it's clear. So the package is installed by default. So what happen if I will run the command? If I will run this installation command, means if I will copy this command and if I will run this to install the LDAP, that is already installed, right? So what will happen? So let me show you. If I will paste it over here and I will hit enter, it's going to tell me no updates necessary for this image, because there is no updates available because it's already installed. But if it is not there, it's going to do that. So before Solaris 11 onwards, we have to do this thing while installing the LDAP. But for us, it's, you can see, no updates necessary. Updates are available for this image for us. Means this package is already in the OS, so no need to install. So installation part is done. So this installation part is done. So let me make a note. Installation is done, right? Means it's already installed, so we didn't did anything, we didn't did something here from our side. It's already there with the package. But in other operating system, if you are using, what you have to do, you have to install it. So let's say if you want to do this installation in Linux, kindly go ahead and take the any Linux course, not mine, any of the Linux course on OpenLDAP, where it's shown how to install this step. Or also, if you have any issue, just ping me out, I will help you out how to do that. So finally, installation is done. Now configuration of this OpenLDAP. So how we will configure this OpenLDAP? Now this is the part which we have to perform. So in order to perform configuration, OpenLDAP give you a configuration file which is called slabd.conf. So we can tell, like every other service, OpenLDAP has a configuration file, has a configuration file called, which is nothing but slabd.conf. So this slabd.conf is a file where you have to configure your configuration of OpenLDAP. So where this file is located, that's a very important question, where this file is located. So location of this file is in the root. We have a etc folder. There is a folder called OpenLDAP, and there is a subfolder, or not subfolder, there is a slabd.conf. So let me show you how it look like. So just let me come here and clear the screen, and let me quickly move to the location etc. So when I move to the location etc, and if I hit ls, there are n number of files and folder. There I have to go to the OpenLDAP. So let me quickly go to the OpenLDAP and clear the screen and hit ls. So these are the files present over here. If you want, you can hit ls minus l as well to list it out. So see, bin is a folder, OpenLDAP is a folder, OpenLDAP is a file, bin is a file, bin is a file. Okay, same way we have a d for directory. So bin is a directory as well, OpenLDAP bin. So here I am interested in slabd.conf. Okay, so slabd.conf is present in OpenLDAP. So here you can see slabd.conf is there. If you run ls also, you can see here all the options are available, like slabd.conf is there. So if you want to read it out, you can simply use cat command to just open it in read only mode, and this is the slabd.conf file you can see over here. So what is inside this slabd.conf file? So what this slabd.conf have? Question is very important question. What this conf file will have, what this slabd.conf will have? This is a very important question people used to ask when you go for administration, because if you did the administration, you must know what this slabd.conf will do or have. So the slabd.conf have a multiple things, but here the three things are very important. Okay, three parts are important here in the slabd.conf. So what are those three parts? The first part, which is very important, is let me make it here. The first part, which is very important, is the about schema file location means this slabd.conf will tell you where your schema file is and what are the schema you are using. So I will tell you right now, just make me out clear out this point first. It's schema. Okay. Second important thing is it will tell you about PID. There is some a location of PID file. So PID file location. That's an important thing as well. So PID file location means when we start our OpenLDAP, this PID file is generated. Okay, so that PID file is also here. And third important, which is very very important, is Berkeley DB, Berkeley DB data definition. Okay, so this Berkeley DB data definitions are over here. So these three things, which is very important sections, you will find in your OpenLDAP configuration file. So let me first tell you what is mean by is this schema. What is this schema? So we already know schema is something which defines the rule. So what is schema? First question is here. What is schema? So schema is something which defines the rule. Means, if in the easy way you can tell, means schema holds the attribute, means what are the attributes supported by your OpenLDAP is defined in the schema. So what are the attributes supported in OpenLDAP is defined by schema. So I hope you already seen my previous video where I discuss about schema, attributes, all those things. So if you didn't had, just go ahead and revise that video first. It will help you to understand. So schema is nothing but a place which we already discussed with a diagram where you have the attribute. What are the attribute allowed is here. So the default schema in our case is will be the core dot schema. So the default schema is core dot schema. So core dot schema is the default schema for our case. So what is this default schema? So this default schema will show you what means it's have the information of what are the default attribute we have. So if you go ahead and try to open, see this is my file. If you try to look into this file, if I open this file from here, see cat slab d. So what are the information you can see from here is like this. It includes the location of the schema file. So default schema file is core.schema. So this core.schema have all the default attributes we will use in this OpenLDAP. Okay, so in this core.schema we will go, and if you want you can go and check what are the default attributes are allowed. All these things are defined as a part of this schema which is called core.schema, which is very important. So if you go for any interview, the people will ask what is the default schema which you know in your you had worked on in your OpenLDAP. So you can tell I worked on a core schema, but as per business requirement, let's say I want to add something, a new attribute. Let's say I want to add teacher number or student number. Let's say student ID attribute, right? Student name attribute. These are not coming by default with this schema. So if you want to use your own attribute, the thumb rule is you have to create your own schema first. You have your own schema first, then based on your schema, whatever you created, it's xyz.schema, you can define your attribute, let's say student ID, student name. So those custom attribute, if you want to support, definitely you have to support. If you go for any business, that moment of time as a developer, not as an admin, not is it's not a development course, it's an admin course. So as a admin or as a developer, you have to create some custom attributes, and after that you have to add those attributes in the custom schema. So let's say you added some custom attribute to your XYZ schema. So how your LDAP server will understand where the schema is? Because let's say you are using that attribute in your server. So how the server will come to know that attribute exists? Server need to fetch that attribute details from the schema. So that schema location you have to mention again over here. You have to include that schema location as well to this location. I hope this point is clear to you. Same way we have something called PID file location. So this PID file location means this PID is a file which is created when your LDAP server will start. This file will be generated when this LDAP server will start. So here you can see, so this PID file will be generated when your LDAP server will start, and in this location it will be generated. But the very important thing is here multiple things are here. Something is called access policy. Here you can define the behavior of the user, like all the user can open the things. Like right now you can see it's can be opened by all the users and it can be written by all the users. So this is the default behavior which you can control from this access control list, okay, or using the policies. But my point of interest is here BDB database definition. What is that? So let me come out here. There is something called BDB. That's a very important thing actually. So BDB is nothing but your Berkeley DB. Okay. So this Berkeley DB is right now Oracle have the ownership on this DB. So this BDB is nothing but Berkeley DB. Berkeley database. So Oracle is owning this Berkeley DB right now. So what is this? What is meaning by this DB? So Berkeley DB is a database, underlying database. So this is an underlying database used by your OpenLDAP, used by the OpenLDAP. So this is the DB which is used by your OpenLDAP, which is the underlying database for your data means for your OpenLDAP. So that's a very important thing. But what this DB will have? My question is what this DB will contain. So what this DB will show you the information. So this DB, the very much important information is inside this DB is something called suffix. Okay, first of all, it have basic information like what is the name of the DB and so on. But my point of interest is what is the important thing over here. So suffix is the importance. You already know what is suffix, right? So we already discussed this thing. But let me tell you, suffix is nothing but the root of your tree. Okay, from where means the node from where everything start. If I tell you means the node from where, or root node from where everything starts. Everything starts in database, means in sorry, not database, in directory or your OpenLDAP. Okay. Okay. Now next important thing is here something called root DN. Root DN is a very important thing present in this location, mentioned in this section. So root DN is what? In the same way we have like a root as a top level of admin in Linux machine, right? In the same way we have something called root DN, which is the top level admin. Means every directory every directory server, if somebody will ask you to define, you can define, has a top level admin, top level admin, okay, or administrator. That is called root DN. That is called root DN. The very important question is here, this is a database, right? Means this is a Berkeley DB. So Berkeley DB generally in the operating system, this is a DB are nothing but some files. Okay, so this where this Berkeley DB is stored. That's a very important question. Generally, the name of this Berkeley DB you will see in our example when we do hands-on. You will see the name of this Berkeley DB. Okay, name of this BDB or Berkeley DB would be like something like this, like id2 entry, like this id2 entry.db, like something like this. So what is the location of this DB? The question is where this location of this DB, location of this Berkeley DB, where this Berkeley DB actually exists. So where is the location? So this Berkeley DB is found inside a folder called OpenLDAP data. So it is found under OpenLDAP data, and that's exact location is inside the root. There is a folder called where there is a folder called OpenLDAP. This paths at least you should remember as an admin. Definitely this is day-to-day activity and you are beginner, then I expect you should if you don't remember right now, then you have to remember these paths and these things, at least these notes you should be master. So OpenLDAP, okay, OpenLDAP minus data, that's the folder where this database is found. So location of this Berkeley DB at least you should aware in interviews. So So let's say what could be the example of the root. So what could be the example of the root? So root could look like this. Let's say in my case, uh, dc equal to e academy, dc equal to com. Let's say is it like this way you can start your root. So your root can start with dc equal to e academy, dc equal to com, anything you can do. Same way root dn. So by default we have here a root dn, which is like the top level admin. So top, since is admin, so he have a common name, right? So common name by default is manager. If you want, you can change it, but if you don't want, you can go ahead with this one. So this is the top level admin for dc equal to, let's say, e academy, and dc equal to com. Means this is the top level. So this kind of thing you will find when we will configure this OpenLDAP. So I hope you have a very good and brief idea right now in this file. So what I'm going to do, I'm quickly going to configure this OpenLDAP. Okay. So in order to do so, what I will do, rather than doing this, I will open this file. So where is the command? Okay. So let me open it. So you can see there is a slabd.conf, right? So I will open it in vi editor and hit enter. I will go here quickly down and I will edit the details. So for my case, I don't want this domain. You can configure any name, whatever you want. It's up to you. So let me quickly delete it. Okay, it's deleted. Now I have to insert my domain name. So let's say E Academy is the name of my domain. Here, whatever the thing is there, let me quickly change here eacademy.com here also. So let me delete it. So let me insert is e academy. Okay, fine. All the things, and here is a very important and interesting thing they are mentioning is here. You have to change the mode and the permission to 700. What is mean by that? I already told in the OpenLDAP data, your database is there, right? So you have to change the permission of these folders. The permission, whatever the things inside this folder, the permission should be minimum 700. Okay, 700 means 7 is read write execute for the owner. So whatever the things are there, that permission should be read write execute. Okay, so right now, what are the things here in this location? Let me show you. Let me quickly escape colon WQ. Okay, to save it. And let me go to this location. So what is that location is? It's very easy. Just go to this location. Okay, copy and CD and paste it and hit enter. I am here in this location and hit ls. So right now I have two configuration file. Okay, right now nothing is there. But when we enable the services of OpenLDAP server, here this database will be created. So right now we don't enable the services, but yes, let me hit ls minus l. So right now you can see this configuration file have owner as the root, and here is the group is bin. There it should be OpenLDAP, 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 and the permission should be read write execute. That's they want to tell. So right now our LDAP services are not enabled. So what will happen? Till now what we learned, there is something called installation of the Solaris, installation of the OpenLDAP that you don't need to perform. From Solaris 11.1 onwards, you don't need to perform. It's coming with the OS. Now next thing you have to configure. When you go for the configuration, you will find three very interesting and important sections. Schema file location, which we are not touching. Second, you will find PID, which we are not touching. Third, we are touching is Berkeley DB data definition, where we have to mention what is the root domain or suffix and who is the admin, top level admin that we have to mention for your particular top level domain. Now, your service still not enabled. Your OpenLDAP by default service is disabled. It's not enabled. When you enable your services, the very interesting thing will come into the picture is you will find in this particular location one database will be created. Means next time when you when you add users to the location, it will go and stored in this location. So here a file will be created, and the name of the file which will be created over here would be like this: id2entry.db. Means name is not important, extension is important. So this db extension will be created. Right now we don't have anything with the db. It will create if and only if this file will be created if and only if you have to enable your services. So right now we didn't did anything. We not enabled the service. In the next class, I will show you how to enable the service. We just know we need the service to be enabled in order to do so. So before enabling the service, what the OpenLDAP is telling before, what you have to do the next, what is the next step? Next steps are what? First, you have to enable the service, right? Enable the service. That's the main step, but you can't enable the service. Before enabling the service, you have to change permission and ownership that these people are recommending, and where the recommendation is available in slabd.conf. So change the permission and ownership of which location. You have to change it ownership of this particular folder which is present in the where OpenLDAP hyphen OpenLDAP minus data. So this folder permission you have to change the ownership and permission of this folder So how you have to change folder to 700, means read write execute for the owner, nothing for the group and nothing for user, extra additional users. And the permission you need to change this, and ownership you need to change OpenLDAP means OpenLDAP is a user and OpenLDAP is a group, both should be OpenLDAP. So this thing you have to do, okay, according to whom? According to, that's a very important things we are discussing right now, slabd.conf. Okay, so according to this file we have to change the permission. Yep, if the permission is changed, now you are allowed. Now you are allowed to enable your services. Services for what? Services for OpenLDAP. So you have to enable LDAP server services. LDAP server services. So this is a service which is by default disabled. Means it is disabled by default. You have to make it enable, that is on, you have to make it online. So when you do that, what will happen? After performing these steps, a .db file will be, which is nothing but your database, the actual database will be created. And which location it will be created? It will created at slash where slash OpenLDAP slash OpenLDAP minus data. So this location, this folder will be created. Means not folder, this database will be created. So this is the thing. Till now we performed these steps, these many things we are clear. From the next class onward, what we will do, we will change the permission. First we will check what is the default services. Okay, how to check the services status, then I will show you how to change the permission, then I will show you how to change the services status, and after that we will see it is created or not. So right now in the today's class, you can see, if you let me clear the screen, if I hit ls command, right now nothing db file is there. If you hit ls only, no .db file is there, but it will be here in this OpenLDAP data folder. So let's meet in the next class and let's do the rest of the things. So thank you for joining this session.